Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Balancing Act. I'm Julie Moran.
And I'm Olga Villaverdi. All right, did you know that the earliest form of paper comes from the papyrus plant?
I did not know that.
Well, there you go. Today we're going to visit a store that takes its name from that plant and offers beautiful handcrafted cards for all occasions.
I love card shopping.
Well, I'm going to take you there.
Papyrus, great.
And we're going to go on location. I'm actually going to go on location at a renowned inpatient hospital that's really making a difference for those who truly need it. I love this story.
It all starts right now.
Welcome to this very special edition of Health Matters right here on the Balancing Act. It's the first in a four-part series about the really important work that is being done at inpatient rehabilitation hospitals. A great segment coming up. In fact, I am on location at Health South, one of the premier inpatient rehabilitation hospitals in the country, with over 100 hospitals nationwide. And I'm joined this morning by Dr. Dexan Clohan, Health South's Chief Medical Officer, and Dr. Cheryl Miller, National Director of Therapy Operations. Doctor, thank you so much for being here this morning.
So happy to be here.
Thank you, Dr. Miller, as well. Dr. Clohan, let me start with you. Tell me a little bit about Health South.
Health South is a rehabilitation system of hospitals, and I should mention rehabilitation medicine. It's a special area of medicine. Doctors train in this specifically to help patients who have lost the ability to function in various ways that are important in their life. And so Health South is a system of 107 rehabilitation hospitals, 29 states and Puerto Rico. About 1 in 5 of all the patients in rehabilitation hospitals are in Health South sites. They may not have the name Health South prominently displayed because in many instances we're partnering with university hospitals, academic medical centers, or prominent medical centers in the city. But frequently you'll find the Health South name, and you'll definitely find them all listed on the Health South website.
To clarify, this is not like a nursing home?
So here's a key for your audience. Remember these words. There's a difference between a hospital and a center or a skilled nursing facility. So we're rehabilitation hospitals. You'll find RNs on duty 24 hours a day in the hospital, physicians accessible 24 hours a day, pharmacies on site, specially trained nurses, therapists, a great team. In a skilled nursing facility, which are very appropriate for certain patients, you'll find some therapy services, but you'll find RNs only 1 shift a day is all they're required to have. Physicians aren't required to be available 24 hours a day. So there are quite a number of differences between those sites. So I hope your viewers, if they're ever in the position where they need to find care for a family member who's lost ability to function, to ask the question, is this a rehabilitation hospital?
Because it gives you peace of mind to make that right choice. Yes. Dr. Miller, let me bring you in. Tell me about your role and how you're helping patients here.
My role as a leader of therapy in Health South is to make sure that our therapy services are provided in state-of-the-art environments, and they're also provided by competent clinicians. And my role specifically is related to therapy, but to make sure our therapists have the best skills possible to provide our patients the best care possible.
And speaking of patients, we have a video clip of one patient. I'd like to share that with my viewers, if I may.
Great.
Let's take a look real quick.
I was paralyzed from my shoulders down. When they transported me over, there was the only thing I could move was my head, and I could lift my shoulders. Other than that, no other part of my body moved. I couldn't even press a call button. When I got here, they gave me a pneumatic call button where I had to blow into a tube to try to get assistance. I could not feed myself. I was totally dependent upon the nursing staff here and techs to take care of me, and depended upon the physical therapy staff to, as I like to say, fix me, to get me back from, as I said, being totally paralyzed to a state of some independence.
Doctor, I can only imagine that quality outcomes must be so important to you. Is that patient's experience typical?
We get a lot of responses from patients that are very grateful for the team who's worked with them. The patients do the work themselves a lot as well. We measure patients' ability to function when they arrive at our hospital and then again when they're discharged. And so there's actually a numerical score to show how much they've improved. And we can demonstrate that they do so much better in our hospitals that we're proud of that.
That's great. And Dr. Miller, as a result of the therapy, which I'm hearing now from Dr. Clowen, what can a patient expect in terms of the goals and gaining that independence they want so much?
So when a patient comes into our hospital, the first thing we want to know is what their goals are. Once we know what their goals are, it can help us to identify what we want to work on while they're here and what their treatment is going to involve while they're here so they can return home independent and, most importantly, to a more meaningful life.
And Dr. Clowen, I'm going to end with you. It's really important what I'm hearing here. It's very individualized and it sounds like a team here.
Most importantly, the patient is really right in the middle of that team, selecting their goals, letting us know what's important to them, and working hard because rehabilitation is no easy task.
Thank you so much for your time. Give me that website one more time.
HealthSouth.com.
HealthSouth.com. God bless you both, and we'll see you again in part 2 of this great series.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. And of course, if you want to learn more, just go to our website. That's thebalancingact.com, thebalancingact.com. Don't forget, we're also on Facebook and Twitter. We always love hearing from you.
I mentioned at the top of the show my love of cards, and our next guest has brought a beautiful array for all occasions. What's even more special about these? They're customized. Joining us is Alwyn Carrier, custom printing specialist from Papyrus Soho, a national chain of stores featuring more than 200 custom printing retail locations coast to coast. And I just want to say welcome to the studio. This store, I have to say, I'm just such a fan of Papyrus, and it's so great to have you here today.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
You know, this is quite a display, and I love the idea of customization. And what are some of the real advantages there?
Well, you know, bespoke stationery has such a rich history, such a romantic history, and it's always been such an incredible part of our culture. And thankfully, the written word and self-expression is experiencing a real renaissance right now. And that's something that we're so excited to be a part of and to be at the forefront of. And when you customize an invitation, when you customize a piece of stationery, that's what puts the personal in personal communication. And so by selecting a typeface, an ink, a motif, a monogram, your aesthetic and your style become not just part of the medium, but the message itself.
Absolutely. You know, the detail and the workmanship on all of your things is just amazing. And tell us about it. I mean, how do you derive and get to this?
Absolutely. So this particular example is from a Loom, which is a couture letterpress stationer. These feature very, very heavy weight with painted edges and multiple color letterpress. In this particular example, we're looking at 3 color letterpress. So with each press, that's a different plate.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's very personalized, and what's so lovely about it is that every suite is very customizable. So you can change the typefaces, you can change your backing pattern, you can change the ink colors, and make it authentic for you.
For you, and it really reflects you. Is custom printing expensive?
It can be, but anything can be. And we really pride ourselves on having curated a selection that speaks to and is available for a variety of clients, a variety of price points. And in the years that I've worked in custom printing, I've worked with literally hundreds of couples with every conceivable budget. So whether you're a bride on a budget or you're looking to really invest in a wedding trousseau that's going to become a family heirloom, or create signature stationery that you're going to use for the rest of your life. I've always been a firm believer that with a little bit of flexibility and a lot of creativity, we can make something that feels authentic for you and that fits your needs.
Well, Papyrus has, you know, a couple of hundreds of stores nationwide, and we visited one. Is that where most custom printing orders take place?
Absolutely, and that's what we recommend. Whenever possible, I encourage clients to come in and meet with a custom printing specialist. By interfacing with us, you're able to interface with the papers, which means that you can feel the weight, feel the texture, and experience the artistry of the print processes firsthand. Not only that, but you're able to benefit from our experience and accept our guidance. So we can advise you with regard to appropriate timelines. When should you send the invitations? When should you mail them? How long should you allow for calligraphy? And then we can also tell you about etiquette, appropriate verbiage. what typefaces are going to work best. We can help you aesthetically. And there's so much that you can really immerse yourself in terms of the custom printing experience that you can't have any other way.
Limitless creativity in stores and online.
Absolutely, and we really recommend papyrusonline.com as a resource so that you can take a preliminary browse and familiarize yourself with the breadth and depth of what's available. And then once you've perused and you've found some options that are good for you, come into the store, we'll take you in hand and take it from there.
Any closing thoughts? You've given us such great information today about what consumers can expect going for custom printing.
At the end of the day, what I want most is for my clients and my couples to enjoy the process as much as I do. Because there's so much freedom and, as you said, limitless opportunity for creativity and self-expression. And what we really believe in at Papyrus is the celebration of the profound moments in life. And every day there is something to celebrate, but particularly when you're inviting someone to your wedding, when you're announcing the birth of your child, when you're creating stationery that's going to be a part of your family history.
Sure.
And we really want to help you embrace that, and we want you to embrace it. So it's a process that should be vivacious and fun and enjoyable and exciting.
And you've inspired me today to customize.
Great.
Thanks for joining us
Absolutely.
today.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to learn more on today's topic, check us out at thebalancingact.com or log on and give us your most artful, custom-made questions related to customized printing. We'd love to hear from you. Log on to Facebook.com/The Balancing Act Fans. When it comes to our food for our pets, we want the best nutrition, variety, and taste for them, just like we want for the rest of our family. And joining us today is Marie Moody, founder and chairman of Stella & Chewy's, to talk about meal mixers, the newest addition to their family of premium food for dogs, and to help us learn about how this product can add raw food nutrition and taste to any dog's diet. Marie, it's so great to have you on The Balancing Act.
Thank you.
And I really want to start with your story first, because you're an entrepreneur and you're really inspiring for women. And just how did Stella & Chewy's come about?
Well, Stella & Chewy's came about really out of my kitchen in New York City after I adopted a sick dog. Chewy was very sick when I adopted him. And so as a result, I did a lot of research on pet food, and something that kept coming up was that one of the most important things you can do is to feed a dog a raw diet, because it would simulate how they may have eaten in the wild.
And Stella you had first, and then Chewy came along.
Yes, I had Stella, and then she needed a boyfriend.
There you go. I love the name. Can you tell us about your philosophy on feeding dogs?
The idea is really because they are domesticated, oftentimes people think that that means that they're not really related to wolves or foxes, but they are. In fact, their DNA is 99% similar to that of a wolf.
Wow.
Therefore, they really are designed to eat like they would have eaten in the wild and how their ancestors ate.
How do many of us feed our dogs, and why might we be interested in meal mixers? Because that's what we're talking about today, right?
Right, exactly. Well, what we found was that people are most comfortable feeding their dogs, as they have historically, certainly for the last 50 years, kibble, which is a dried food. And a lot of people understand the benefits of perhaps adding something fresh to the kibble, like people add different things.
Right.
I mean, they add all kinds of things, from vegetables to bacon to, so what we wanted to do was provide something people could mix in with their current pet food, and that way they could get the benefits of a raw diet without having to go all the way to a raw diet.
And better than like putting some macaroni and cheese or something the dog shouldn't eat on the kibble.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's analogous to if you were to have a salad with your dinner. It's like a little bit is better than nothing.
Marie, how are meal mixers really different from other dog food?
Well, the meal mixers are 95% real meat and bone and organ with no grains. All the meats are all natural, hormone-free, no added antibiotics or hormones. And the food itself is freeze-dried. So that means it's processed without heat so that it's still raw.
And they seem like they're easy to use and that the dogs love them, right?
That's true. In fact, we did a study with a major university, and we found that 9 out of 10 dogs preferred their current meal with the meal mixer on it.
Well, that's, my little hero. I'm going to have to find the one he'd like to take home. But what are the health benefits that you found when you add this to the dog's food?
Well, what we find is that it improves, because it's a food that's much closer to its natural state than, say, something that's highly processed. What we have found that the raw food diets can improve their vitality, their coats. It can prevent allergies. It's, in general, it's, again, like for you and I or anybody in our family, when we want to feed them fresher food, the idea is to promote better health.
Marie, thanks so much for stopping by. Great having you. Great information. Great name. Love the product.
Thank you.
All right, and if you would like to learn more, we want you to head on over to thebalancingact.com. You can also follow us on Facebook as well. Share your pet stories with us. Thanks for spending part of your morning with us, and we hope we've inspired you to head to our website, thebalancingact.com, for more info.
And if you're feeling social, are you? Tweet me, tweet her. We'd love to hear from you. Or head to Facebook, post something about today's topics or on any other subject for that matter.
Yeah.
We'd love to see anything you send us.
And until next time, remember, as always, find your balance. So long.